I don't think the killer apps have arrived yet. I mean, I have a copy of Lotus 123 behind me, and that was the first business app for a PC where people said, "Oh, I get it. I need one of these PCs in my business now because I can do my spreadsheet, this thing called the spreadsheet."
Yeah.
That was a whole mind blower of like, okay, I see now why this thing might be useful to me as a business. And the internet was the same way. I remember building websites early on and people telling me, yeah, I'm never going to put a credit card in anything you build. That's crazy talk. It doesn't sound safe at all. So right now I think people are saying, we need AI, and people are trying to figure out how to get, generative AI to do something, and it's failing because it hasn't come fully baked yet. It hasn't come in the form of Lotus 123, or it hasn't come in the form of Salesforce. Like when the cloud first hit and software as a service first was invented, everybody was still putting large technology packages into big boxes in cold rooms in co-located areas or in their own data center.
Yeah.
And then Salesforce came along and blew that whole. And people then ripped out their Siebel implementations and ripped out their existing, highly customized, expensive legacy technology to put in this nimble cloud, buy it by the month, extend the licenses out to whomever, and we'll, buy it as we go rather than investing in this big, huge purchase to get it to work. And so that's what I come to is what will get in the way when the killer apps begin to arrive, and they will be coming. There are huge companies that are being built right now.
Yeah.
We were talking before around a company called Campfire, which is the AI native ERP.
Yeah.
$100 million investment from some of the biggest of the big.
Yeah.
There are other ones coming. They're being built with the intent of disrupting the existing implementations. There are not a lot of companies out there who are have been sitting on their hands waiting to implement ERP and can't, figure it out. Everybody's got one. And so you need something that's going to be so compelling that they're going to throw out what they already have. And that's coming. So what gets in the way of that? What is going to be the resistance and over and above politics? I mean, how complicated would it be to completely rip and replace ERP? What gets people to think, okay, I'm willing to do the unthinkable and completely tearing out what we all use, everybody's comfortable with it, and put in a completely new, I mean, are these things, are they easy to implement? And I mean, how do you get a company to even consider doing that?
Let me give you a business case. Let's say you are using a traditional ERP right now, okay, and you need to do like a simple report, okay. You are going to hire somebody like Sam Gupta. Obviously he's really good, but get ready to pay $20,000 just for a simple report, okay. You come to these systems, what they are capable of. You don't need to hire Sam Gupta anymore, okay. They can do those reports overnight, literally with one click. Okay, that's the kind of promise that we are talking about. So customers are not naive to ignore something like this. Okay, they know how powerful AI is. So they are trying to figure out, okay, I need to build AI native strategy pretty much for everything. And it's not just my business processes. Okay, it's going to be my products and services, because I need to embed AI into that before my competitors do. Because every single business model in the world is being disrupted by AI at this point of time. So that's the kind of.
What do you get though? I mean, what's so much better about it than if I have a legacy ERP system?
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, the speed that you are getting with respect to configuration implementation is definitely promising, and they are able to do that in certain industries. Okay, are you going to get the exact outcome? What you are getting, you are definitely going to get a sales pitch, but outcome may not be same. Okay, so the benefit that you are getting is number one, user experience, number two, speed, number three, speed of customization, speed of extracting data, insights, speed of change. I guess that's what you are getting from these technologies. But again, it's not the same outcome. outcome is very different. You are going to create other problems that people don't understand just yet. So they are getting into something, okay, they don't understand it well enough. So there is a real promise and power. Okay. And whenever, let's say if I'm evaluating an ERP right now, or CRM for that matter, Doug, what is your evaluation process? You are not going to ignore anything, right? You are going to look at pretty much everything. You are going to look at modern technology. You are going to look at modern interfaces, how easy it is to use, how long you are going to take to complete a specific process step. And based on that, you are going to decide whether this application is going to make sense for me or not. And some of these steps, obviously, they have been shortened substantially, and then obviously customers are willing to talk about them as well. So you have a real business case right now. If you look at the number of logos that they are acquiring every month, it's probably 100, 200, sometimes 1,000. So there is a real momentum, and that's why investors are pouring money in these technologies. Because they are able to give the kind of marketing speed that these companies are going to need, and the brand power. So again, the market is being disrupted at this point of time. Next 5 years, it's going to be completely different.
Well, I'm actually asking, as we were talking there, I'm asking AI to provide me with a good reason why I would switch to an AI native ERP system. And it says it offers significant strategic advantages over legacy systems, transforms ERP from a passive system of record into an active system of intelligence, providing 25 to 45% faster decision making and 30% lower operating costs.
So depending upon how you talk about decision making, and I don't know how well the audience is going to understand the whole agentic processes. So some of these agentic processes that you have, they are going to replace human-centric workflows. For example, let's say traditional ERP admin, Doug, let's say if you had to hire, I'm not sure if you are using an ERP in your company right now, but if you were using an ERP and if you had to hire an ERP admin, they are going to cost you roughly 100,000 or maybe 120,000 if you are using a real ERP. Okay, if you're using something like QuickBooks, you can probably get for like $10 an hour. That's a real difference in the rate, right? So you're looking at that kind of cost. Now, some of these agentic processes can do the work that ERP admins used to do. So this is just one use case, okay? You are talking about calibration of any of your data sets. One of the major problems that the majority of the companies had, for example, let's say safety stock, okay? If you look at safety stock, that probably drove pretty much everything, okay? How much inventory you are going to have, how much cash you are going to keep, and that's where your money was sort of locked. So now AI has a promise, or agentic processes, they can optimize, calibrate all of those processes as well. Now, this is just one. And I don't know, Doug, whether you have interacted with any of the AI agents. The interaction is far superior as well. If you talk to a customer service agent, okay, you talk to them, it's hit or miss, right? Generally, it's going to be miss because they are probably trained on 1,000 scenarios. Okay, they just don't know enough. Okay, people's expectation is going to be on the other side. They are going to get somebody like Doug or Sam Gupta. It doesn't work that way. Okay, if you are paying $20 for a product, you are not going to get as qualified person on the other side. Now, AI agents, they are probably trained on maybe 10,000 or a million scenarios, and that's why you have the power of answers. They are providing far more qualified answers. So you have customer experience. That's where you are going to have the real AI power. Now, if you look at legacy workloads, how easy it is to incorporate those processes with the legacy workload. Some vendors are claiming that they have agentic processes, but again, they have a lot more friction, organizational friction to change themselves to be somebody like Campfire, somebody like Everest. It's not easy. It's never easy to compete with startups.
Well, but truth be told, we are kind of, and I am 1,000% a believer that we're all in a state of denial if we don't think that this is where it's all going. That people who are resisting because it has hallucinations or it has, doesn't give me the right answer every time. It's like, yes, correct. That's true. It doesn't. But that is going to be overcome because there's too much willpower and too many good ways to solve all those problems. Like all the little bits and pieces right now. And I think I saw somewhere actually Salesforce, I think, is pretty open about, the limitations that agents have right now with regard to, self-operating because of because of their tendency to get things wrong. And it's not a small amount. I think I saw their most recent kind of post on it was something along the lines of it only gets it right 60% of the time or something like that. It's not a it's they're not necessarily running around saying they've got it all sorted out. They're running around saying it's getting there, and but they're relentless and they have the resources, and they're not going to let that be the final state. They're going to get it to be 75% and then 85% and then 95%. And that'll be so good that that'll be better than humans. And so I firmly believe that this is, to your point around customer service, it's like we're all going to want AI agents as our customer service reps. Absolutely, positively, they'll be better and faster and quite frankly, more nuanced when they deal with us than a human.
Some very good points there. Let's touch on those. Okay. Again, technology is very powerful. AI is very powerful. But what is more powerful is understanding the strengths and weaknesses of technology and utilizing them for the right use case. Okay. It would be a stretch to assume that the problems that you have with AI are going to go away. That's not how technologies work. These are constraints. Okay. Is AI going to be smarter than humans? That would be a crazy idea. Okay. Humans have evolved pretty much everything. Okay. Our human brain is way powerful than most people think. Okay. Now, the question is going to be how you are going to leverage the limitations as well as strengths of AI and how you are going to be better. And that's human. That's what we are good at. We are really enterprising. We are very resourceful. We understand if something is good, we want to leverage that, right? So again, I don't think those hallucinations that you are talking about, they're going to go away. I don't think that it will get better. I'm not saying that it's not going to improve. It's going to evolve. But there are limits to what AI or agentic processes are capable of. So if you design your business model, business processes, systems around these strengths, while understanding the limitation, create appropriate amount of control, you will be the winner. Otherwise, it's just going to be shiny object you are chasing. Good luck with that.